ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special edition of Talk of the Town. Did you ever have a time in your relationship with Sam? Mm-hmm. And, of course, he died in what?
He died in 75, but the last time I saw him was 1965. So
you were
I was
like
only
11 years old.
I was only 11.
Did you ever have a time when you either respected him or liked him? Was there ever anything he did that maybe you felt, oh, that was a pretty good thing that he did, and I respect it?
Well, I had heard the stories about him helping people, whether it was having a car brought over to someone's house, whether it was a delivery of a refrigerator, sending, in the old days, some sugar and some house supplies. A lot of positive things to help people out, get somebody a job. But it never overshadowed the fact that, you know, he was a vicious, he was a killer. And I did understand that he was a unique man from the standpoint of you don't rise to that position, you don't become boss of Chicago, and you don't control half the United States and be an idiot. He had the capability of somehow managing this organization, you know, below the surface of the law. So there was a certain, interest that I had to say, how could this man do that?
You know, this mean uncle that treats me so bad.
Yeah.
Did your dad, when you got ready to move, and you did move away, your mother and father, was there any fear, going back and talking to your dad, did they have any fear about trying to get and remove you from that?
Well, they were always fearful, and they were a product of a world that if you said the wrong thing to an individual, there might be some retaliation. If you didn't act a certain way, you could get in trouble. So their whole life was literally walking on eggs. So it wasn't unusual that they were always very cautious. And as a result, when we did eventually change our name, that they were fearful of the repercussions. And specifically, Sam was very upset about it. And that was really, at that point, it caused irreversible damage to their relationship. We never spoke to him again.
When you were growing up in school, and you would come across things in the school books, St. Valentine's Day Massacre, did you go back and ask your father, or did you already know? Say, Dad, this thing's about gangsters, and I think Uncle Sam is doing that. Did you do that?
Well, as a youngster, not so much, because I was always kind of told not to ask any questions. So, and I kind of lived pretty much to that rule. But as I got a little older, and my father would tell me more voluntarily, then I would also ask about, you know, I always heard this story, and what's behind that. But as I got out of college and got to a different stage in life and a different relationship with my father, then he was able to open up more and tell me more about his brother. And finally, it wasn't until we really started to work on the book that my father laid the big revelations on me.
We'll be back talking about some of those big revelations as we continue our discussion with Sam Giancana, the co-author of Double Cross. Don't go away.